Is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatem, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's edition of Pathway to Jannah. The government of a society is a reflection of who the people are. A responsible government is expected to shoulder very many responsibilities, among which is the welfare of the most vulnerable, that is the children. Inshallah, today we're going to be having a discussion on government as a parent. Inshallah, by the time I bring in my guest for the chat segment, you're sure going to learn one or two things. You're welcome back. The program is still Pathway to Jannah, and I have the privilege of having a chat with Imam Abdul Hakim Oshodi. He's one of the Imams of Maifo and is Imam Community Central Mosque or Kota. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Normally we hear of neighbors being part of the duty of parents, but why should a government be part of this process of parenting?
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We give thanks to Almighty Allah who has made us Muslims. And we seek His benevolence on the soul of the Holy Prophet Muhammad
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam,
who has taught us the right way. Government as a parent, as the topic goes, let me put it, you can say government as a super parent.
Super parent.
Because the immediate parent, the father, the mother, then they give birth to the children, they nurture. And government at the apex, okay. They have a role and responsibility in internalizing the norms of the society into any child.
Okay. And
not only that, wherever need be, they come in as in punitive measures. And as you know, in government, we have three arms.
All right.
Legislature, executive, and the judiciary. They have distinct role to play in shaping every members of the society, plus the parents that are parenting a child in any given society.
So everybody is under the government.
Yes.
And as such, the children are not left out. Oh, could we say that the legal identities and interests of a child differs from that of the parent? So that we can now look at that as bringing in the government in that instance.
Actually, it's not differ, if I could put it that way. The children that has the parents, the father, the mother, the government at apex too, that sees to the, let me set an instance. If there is a crime committed, maybe somebody killed someone, and that case is charged to court. The thing will be that the state versus so and so, versus the person that killed the other person. Because it is the person that died, that was murdered, is the property of the state. So if they won't say they won't cite the case as the name of the dead person versus the exterminator, but the state versus the person, the person that committed the murderer. So that's the reason why at times the state comes in, that is, the government comes in at certain time to ensure there is a sanity and the legal aspect is engendered.
Now, could we say that the government would have to come in because of the enormity of the task of parenting? Is that why the government should come in apart from the fact that, okay, we can say that the government is the apex body.
Yeah.
But if you look at, I just want to clarify, could we say that it's the enormity of the task of parenting that gives room for government to perform that function as a parent?
It's not the enormity of the task. Whomsoever that got married, the wife, the husband, I think they are prepared for a task, the task ahead of parenting.
Okay.
And for them, they have the wherewithal to do that. There is no way that task can be merged that they can't do what they need to do.
Okay.
In terms of their responsibility. Okay, I can fend for one child. I can fend for two. Let it be like that. Now, if it happens that the parents can't do more, they failed in their responsibility, the government can come in. Because, like they say, the family is the smallest unit of the society. In a society where family A produces a criminal, family B does same, C same. Those children coming from those families will come into the society.
That is a society of criminals.
And before you know it, the society will be in total chaos. And then the government will take charge, as in possibly taming them. Like somewhere last week, a friend of mine went for a program. He was driving through. Before you know it, back, gunshot. The criminals and the police facing themselves. Even his bumper was hit by a bullet. So, if family A and B and C are producing that kind of children into the society, then we say that kind of a society is a society of anomy, is in state of lawlessness, and the government has the role and responsibility to tame that kind of situation.
Are we looking at it now that it is until such situations happen, or there is a particular routine that the government is expected to take in parenting a child? What are those routines? What are those things that we expect government to actually do before such cases of misdemeanor that you've mentioned so far erupts?
Like they say, like the adage goes, that a society that is devoid of a law, there is no sin. Before that, there are so many responsibilities the government needs to kind of do in terms of letting each and every individual in that society knows the rules and regulations that governs them in that society. And there has to be intermittent orientation and reorientation as far as what is expected of a citizen. Like, you know, we have duties and responsibilities. Duties from the governed and responsibilities from the government. So the government will do their own responsibility in doing that, in ensuring that every member of the society is adequately informed of what operates in that society, the modus operandi in that society. And not only that, telling them that, oh, if you do this, this is the punishment. It's just a pity that in the society we have today, where there is punishment for a deviant, there is no reward for conformist. If you deviate, you get punished.
If you do the right thing?
If you do the right thing, there's no reward.
You're not rewarded.
So, government needs to do that, and every other thing follows.
No, you mentioned that the government is supposed to enlighten, orientate the citizens. Should we say then that one of the key functions of the government as a parent is free education?
You see, governance is all about welfareism.
Okay.
Anything governance is all about welfareism, how to see to the welfare of the citizens. Now, free education, it depends on the sitting government. We've had it in Nigeria, we've had it in this Lagos state, that there's free education. But even if it's not going to be free, let it be affordable. So that with little amount, a vulnerable family can send their children and wards to school.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for obliging us. May Allah continue to increase you in knowledge and understanding. Jazakumullah khairan. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it has been Imam Abdul Hakim Oshodi discussing with us government as a parent. The government needs to step up the game. That was the last note. Inshallah, we're going to move to the other segments. Stay tuned.
Nigeria, well endowed with several tribes and languages. The unity in the diversity lies our strengths. The formation of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest over a decade ago saw the rebirth of the unity in the Ummah, with the umbrella body catering for the Muslims, irrespective of association in that region of the country. The choice of Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, as the secretariat, is born out of the centrality to other member states in the Southwest.
Ibadan is central. Everybody can come. Oshun, Oyo, anywhere, people can come to Ibadan.
University of Ibadan, the premier university in the country, well endowed with a gigantic mosque and a hall to host events, has been the venue of most of the MUSWEN activities. With the passing of the third president, Alhaji Dr. S.O. Babalola, it was apt to choose another leader. On Sunday, the 22nd of November 2020, saw the gathering of delegates from other states to ratify what members of the National Working Committee had decided. With the full compliance of coronavirus etiquettes, delegates had health check after accreditation before proceeding to the already well-lit venue.
Àìsàn ìfowópamọ́ ní COVID-19 ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní nǹkan tó tóbi ọdún kan ní ìsìn precisely December 2019 ní ìlú kan tí wọ́n pè ní Wuhan City. Ìkan náà àwọn states tó wà ní China wọ́n pè ní Hubei province of China. Ibẹ̀ ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
After a brief introduction of some invited guests and delegates by the duo of Abdul Ghani Abdul Majid and Moshood Akitonla, the main event started swiftly with the opening prayers by Sheikh Abdurrahman Hamad, the chief missioner of Ansaruddin, followed with the recitation of the Quran by Alhaji Abdul Rashid Adeleke.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Welcoming all guests and delegates, the Executive Secretary of MUSWEN, Professor Musliu Tayo Yahya, hinged his address on the main purpose of the extraordinary meeting.
The vacuum created by the demise of Alhaji Zakaria Babalola has not been filled until this moment, but by the will of Allah, not for any much longer. Therefore, as I, another Executive Secretary, welcomes you, distinguished delegates and guests, to this gathering, it is my belief and trust in Allah that we will not leave this hall today without that vacuum being most appropriately filled.
The chairman of the Board of Trustees of MUSWEN, His Excellency Judge Abdul-Jabbar Bola Ajibola, a legal luminary and former judge of Court of Hague, has made immense contribution to Islam, the society, and MUSWEN in particular. His address was delivered by the chairman of Muslim Community of Oyo State, who is also a member of the MUSWEN board, Alhaji Kunle Sani.
The new leaders that we emerge at this assembly will be faced with the assiduous task of finding solutions to the various internal challenges of lack of sustainable funding, internal wrangling, lack of progress, among others, as well as external problems staring a woman in the face.
Going down memory lane on the formation of MUSWEN, the choice of Alhaji Shuaib Afolabi Salis, the Chief of Staff to Ogun State Governor, catalogues some of the cardinal points for all to adhere. To have a truly united Ummah, hinging on the theme, consolidating the unity.
When that became MUSWEN was a product of the annual conference of the companion, and specifically a program that was held in Keja, and it had as part of it, the theme of that conference then was the professionals and the quest for credible leadership. And we asked ourselves at that point in time, after all this talk, what do we expect to emerge? The name MUSWEN was adopted on 28th of October 2007. That was when the name MUSWEN was adopted. And the formal inauguration of MUSWEN will take yet another 1 year. And this virtually happened on the 10th of August 2008. What are the achievements so far? The Executive Secretary has listed a number of achievements. But for me, the more subtle but more profound achievement, beyond the physical things, was the fact that this was the very, very first time the Muslims will get together in a very, very structured manner, with a blueprint to say this is going to be the basis of our working together, and we recognize 12 pillars. 12 pillars. 12 pillars of what MUSWEN was never meant to be organization for individuals. It was not meant to replace Ansarudin Nawari. There were 12 pillars. I move on to the imperative for unity. And I'm not going to bother you with telling you why it's important for us to be united, why the Prophet Sallallahu said if people are going on a journey, even a point of view as a leader. 60 countries, as we speak, 60 countries are Muslim majority countries.
He further gave counsel on empowering the secretariats, focus on building rather than control, create a database of Muslim professionals, reinvigorate inclusiveness. He further recommended that the present 5 Islamic universities in the country should form a consortium for a unified teaching where a tutor can visit any universities to share knowledge.
Brothers and sisters, let us hold the assumptions about each other lightly. We should focus on building and not control. Organizations like this, MUSWEN will thrive if members focus on building rather than control. Let us focus on what is done rather than who has done it. If you focus on what is done rather than who has done it, there will be less skirmishes. Let us ensure that the secretariat is the right secretariat, then empower the secretariat and let the secretariat do its job. Let us create a database of all Muslim elites, Muslim resource person across the Southwest. Let us reinvigorate inclusiveness. I can notice that the interest of the founding fathers, okay, let me reframe that, the interest of the founding pillars of MUSWEN are at best now perfunctory.
He concluded his speech with a quote from pioneer president of MUSWEN, Professor Babs Fafunwa of blessed memory.
Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I cannot let this opportunity pass without mentioning 2 important issues, which are dear to my heart and hopefully to you as well. I am not ashamed to call myself a jihadist, but my jihad is directed against 4 important issues. 1, illiteracy. 2, poverty. 3, unemployment. And 4, hunger, particularly among Muslims 12 years ago.
The meeting was also used to raise some funds for some projects by the body. What seems like a milestone of his 1 year in office, the Executive Secretary presented the Secretariat report on the need to ratify the choice of the President and Deputy President, one which was ratified by the delegates, followed by the adoption of the report for all to know the new President, Alhaji Rasaki Oladejo, FCS. His citation was read, which was followed with that of his deputy, Alhaji Rafiu Ebiti.
Alhaji Oladejo, Rasaki Oladejo, bring to this world some years back many decades ago, born in Ibadan. He had his bachelor education here in Ibadan at Islamic Mission, and he completed in 1958. He had his secondary education at Muslim Teachers Training College, and of course, his teachers training certificate for India. Alhaji Razak taught for a few years in Ahmadiyya Primary School in Lagos Island, before establishing the University of Lagos in 1971.
Our view is anything of really that simplicity is outspoken and we work on positive man. No matter the situation, our always is the practical leader at the wrong way around him or the next person. Let's follow the path and family. What are you like? You need to protect me from others. The commitment and love for the family. And passion for someone and committing God is always incredible. Today, I have been accepted as contributed to the development of many Muslims.
The inauguration was done by the elder statesman and pioneer executive secretary, Professor Dawood Naibi.
Allah, to you glory and thanks for enabling us to record this great achievement today, despite all odds. We ask you to have a prayer to guide our new president and his deputy.
In his acceptance speech, the new president thanked all for choosing him as the most qualified of the numerous people who are also eminently qualified, and pledged to contribute his quota to the growth and unity of Islam, with special focus on the women and youth.
Now, this is our own era in history. We met a solid foundation on ground, and we built a befitting edifice on it. That is how to turn a worthy legacy into a worthy heritage. But then, in our own lifetime, that same edifice, of which we are very proud, is fast becoming ramshackle, while we keep basking vaingloriously in the euphoria of the past. At any time of human life, change is a major precursor of progress. Without change, any dream of progress may end up in a nightmare. Let us always pray for our leaders' divine guidance, without any iota of tribal or denomination instinct in mind. We should not forget that in Islam, actions are judged by intentions. God bless our leaders with long lives and sound health, that they may be able to resist any forceful distraction while forging ahead with their divine guided intentions.
There were special remarks and goodwill messages, including from Alhaja Latifa Okunu, who joined the meeting virtually through Zoom, amongst others. The communique was presented by R.O. Yusuf, which was thereafter adopted with a vote of thanks presented by Professor Abdul Ghani Raji. The closing prayer was said by Alhaji Yakub Thani.
We pray Allah will give you perfect, will give the grace, the energy, and the good health for our father,
The Ames Media crew took out time to interact with guests and sought to know the major focus of the new administration of the president and his deputy.
The event today further reinforces the need for Muslims generally to remain united and cohesive. And the Muslims in Southwest have demonstrated that again by coming together. You could see the quality of people who have attended from the academia, from business world.
It has been a very, very challenging period. I'm very happy that we have achieved what we achieved today, because the executive secretary is the chief executive of MUSWEN, and the only officer above him is the president. And that vacuum has been felt for quite some time, but I'm happy that it is filled today.
We have been involved with this search for more than a year. If it has taken us more than a year to actually search and discover these two people that we are inaugurating today, we can rest assured that our efforts throughout that period will not go in vain.
I know it's a big task being entrusted on me, but I know that with the help of Allah and then support of my deputies and all Islamic organizations and the Muslim Ummah generally, all coming out together, we can actually achieve, the objectives for which MUSWEN was actually established.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. There's nothing to feel. It's a call to service. May Allah make it easy and accept it as an act of worship. We will sit, we will plan, and then we will strategize, and then we will implement. It will take time, but you will see a brand new MUSWEN. I can promise you that.
We wish the new executive success in their tenure and truly consolidated unity in the Ummah.
You're welcome back. I hope you picked one or two things from the other segment that we had. During the chat segment with Imam Abdulhakim Oshodi, we discussed government as a parent. The government has a lot to do for the vulnerables. And as parents, we should not hands off our children with the belief that the government is there to stand in for us. Till we meet, same time, same station next week, inshallah, bi kudratillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every second I live, every penny I give is just for you. Every breath I breathe, every trace I leave is just for you.